see. I think we're live. Shalom, shalom, shalom. All right. It's your brother Dawud from the Great Millstone Camp in Atlanta. I started off by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Chakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of the Great Millstone that rule well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect out here pushing this truth and sincerity. The water for which I do, we love you. We appreciate you through the spirit of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, and shalom to y'all. This is your brother Dawud from the Great Millstone Camp in Atlanta. Lord willing to give you an edified lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls God. His name is Yahweh, meaning he is or he exists or he to be. Who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. His name is Yahweh Shai, meaning he is the Savior or he is the Deliverer. He saves, he delivers. If you're watching this now, you're a so-called Black, Native American, or Latino man or woman, then you are a Hebrew Israelite according to the Holy Bible. You would not find Black, Native American, or Latino in the Bible. So you need to know who you are according to the Bible, because a certain people in the Bible was granted the covenant, the glory covenant. It's like the new covenant, old and new, by the way. All right, glory, kingdom, and salvation. All right, now if you watch this now, but you don't look like a so-called Black, Native American, or Latino, but you feel like this is the truth and it resonates with your spirit, well, then it's a good possibility that you could be a Hebrew Israelite as well. Why? Because it does not matter what you look like. That's why. It only matters. It don't matter about the color of your skin either. It only matters that your bloodline goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right. Jacob had his name later changed to Israel. Israel in the Hebrew is Yasharallah, meaning he is the prince of the power. We're reading about the accounts of our forefathers. We're reading about the history. If you don't know the history, you do not know the Bible. 2 Kings 19, chapter 19, verse 1. Subtitle reads, Isaiah encourages Hezekiah. All right, now you remember what went on in the previous chapters. All right, let's continue on. It says, and it came to pass, when King Hezekiah heard it, that he rent his clothes and covered himself with sackcloth and went into the house of the Lord. And he sent Eliakim, which was over the household, and Shebna the scribe, and the elders of the priests, covered with sackcloth, to Isaiah the prophet, the son of Amos. And they said unto him, Thus said Hezekiah, this day is a day of trouble and of rebuke and blasphemy, for the children are come to the birth, and there is not strength to bring forth. It may be the Lord thy God will hear all the words of Rabshakeh, whom the king of Assyria his master hath sent to reproach the living God, and will reprove the words which the Lord thy God hath heard. Wherefore lift up thy prayer for the remnant that are left. So the servants of King Hezekiah came to Isaiah, and Isaiah said unto them, Thus shall ye say to your master, Thus saith the Lord, be not afraid of the words which thou hast heard, with which the servants of the kings of Assyria have blasphemed me. Behold, I will send a blast upon him, and he shall hear a rumor, and shall return to his own land, and I will cause him to fall by the sword in his own land. Sennacherib defies God, Yahweh. It says, so Rabshakeh returned, Rabshakeh returned, and found the king of Assyria warring against Libnah, for he had heard that he was departed from Lachish. And when he heard say of Tirhakah, king of Ethiopia, behold, he is come out to fight against thee, he sent messengers again unto Hezekiah, saying, Thus shall ye speak to Hezekiah, king of Judah, saying, Let not thy God in whom thou trustest deceive thee, saying, Jerusalem shall not be delivered into the hand of the king of Assyria. Behold, thou hast heard what the kings of Assyria have done to all the lands by destroying them utterly, and shalt thou be delivered? Have the gods of the nation delivered them, which my fathers have destroyed, as Gozan and Haran and Rezeph, and the children of Eden, which were in Thalasar? Where is the king of Hamath, and the king of Arpad, and the king of the city of Sepharvaim, and Henna and Ivu? Hezekiah's prayer. And Hezekiah received the letter of the hand of the messengers and read it. And Hezekiah went up into the house of the Lord and spread it before the Lord. And Hezekiah prayed before the Lord and said, O Lord, power, Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, God of Israel, which dwellest between the cherubims, thou art the God, even thou alone, of all the kingdoms of the earth. Thou hast made heaven and earth. Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, bow down thine ear and hear, open, Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, thine eyes and see and hear the words of Sennacherib, which has Sennacherib, which hath sent him to reproach the living God. Of a truth, Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, the kings of Israel have destroyed the nations and their lands, and have cast their gods into the fire, for they were no gods, but the work of men's hands, wood and stone, therefore they have destroyed them. Now, therefore, O Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, our power, our God, I beseech thee, save thou us out of his hand, that all the kingdoms of the earth may know that thou art the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, Yahweh, even thou only. It says God's answer through Isaiah. Then Isaiah the son of Amos sent to Hezekiah, saying, Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, power of Israel, that which thou hast prayed to me against Sennacherib, king of Assyria, I have heard. This is the word that the Lord hath spoken concerning him. The virgin daughter of Zion hath despised thee, and laughed thee to scorn. The daughter of Jerusalem hath shaken her head at thee. Whom hast thou reproached and blasphemed, and against whom hast thou exalted thy voice, and lifted up thine eyes on high, even against the Holy One of Israel? By thy messengers thou hast reproached the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, and hast said, With the multitude of my chariots I am come up to the height of the mountains, to the sides of Lebanon, and will cut down the tall cedar trees thereof, and choice fair trees thereof. And I will enter into the lodgings of his borders, and into the forest of his Carmel. I have digged and drunk strange waters, and with the sole of my feet have I dried up all the rivers of besieged places. Hast thou not heard long ago how I have done it, and of ancient times that I have formed it? Now have I brought it to pass that thou shouldest be to lay waste fenced cities into ruinous heaps. Therefore their inhabitants were of small power. They were dismayed and confounded. They were as the grass of the field, and as the green herb, as the grass on the housetops, and as corn blasted before it be grown up. Where you going, Ma? But I know thy abode, and thy going out and coming in, thy rage against me. Because thy rage against me and thy tumult is come up into mine ears, therefore I will put my hook in thy nose, and my bridle in thy lips, and I will turn thee back by the way by which thou camest, and this shall be a sign unto thee. Ye shall eat this year such things as grow of themselves, and in the second year that which springeth of the same, and in the third year sow ye and reap, and plant vineyards, and eat the fruits thereof. And the remnant that is escaped of the house of Judah shall yet again take root downward, and bear fruit upward. For out of Jerusalem shall go forth a remnant, and they that escape out of Mount Zion, the zeal of the Lord of hosts shall do this. Therefore, thus said the Lord concerning the king of Assyria, he shall not come into this city, nor shoot an arrow there, nor come before it with shield, nor cast a bank against it. By the way that he came by, the same shall he return, and shall not come into this city, said the Lord. For I will defend this city to save it for mine own sake, and for my servant David's sake. And it came to pass, because remember, he still made that promise, that blessing to go through King David, man. Yahushua still has to be born and all of that, right? It says and it came to pass that night that the angel of the Lord went out and smote in the camp of the Assyrians 100 fourscore and 5,000, And when they arose early in the morning, behold, they were all dead corpses. So Sennacherib, the king of Assyria, departed and went and returned and dwelt at Nineveh. And it came to pass, as he was worshiping in the house of Nisrach, his god, that Adrammelech and Sherezer, his sons, smote him with the sword, and they escaped into the land of Armenia, and Esarhaddon, his son, reigned in his stead. So there you go. So King Hezekiah, he put up a prayer, man, and look at that, and look how the Lord answered. He answered with angels, man. You see. So anytime you feel like your back is against the wall, man, just do right by the Lord and pray. All right. So Lord willing, you will edify. I want to give it off by giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bashim, Yahushua, Bashim, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great Milson that rule well. Peace and blessings and hope for life. And Shalom, Makim.